It's happening. Shit's getting real. This is Sophia Musto, and I am so excited to have you here to share my stories with you because life is full of flavor. The purpose of the Zensetter podcast is storytelling, and I want to hear your story, and thank you for listening to mine. You're going to meet so many amazing friends along the way, so thanks for being here. Namaste and hairspray. Welcome to the Zensetter podcast, Miss Tenika. I am so excited. Tenika, let's introduce you to the guest. Let's tell them where you're from.
I'm actually originally from Trinidad. That's where the accent is from, but I live in Barbados. So I'm a Caribbean girl all the way through.
Caribbean girl, you're my soul sister. Like I was meant to be your sister from afar just so I could come and stay with you and do hair with you.
Yeah, and we can swap that because I love trees and nature. And every time you put up a video of you in the trails, I'm like, I want to be on trails.
I think, and every time you're walking the beach and calling it the sea, I'm like, I want that vitamin C. I don't want the trail. I want the sand. Can you tell the guest how I met you? Did I meet you on vacation? How did I meet you?
Social media. We fell in love with Hair Love, and we were part of the same community, and we connected there. And it's just when somebody clicks with you, they click no matter where you are in the world or how. They just click.
Yes. So, it was really great to have each other during that year of 2020 because we were all boats in the sea going through the storm and waves at different times. And sometimes when I talk to my clients, and they're like, I'm so glad everything's back to normal. And I'm like, for us in Maryland, for the sensationalized what you see. I mean, tell the guest how you deal with hurricanes and no water.
I remember last year, everybody saying, I can't wait for 2021. I can't wait and I kept going, I think this shit's not over till 2023, but okay, stop saying that. And then 2021 hits off and we got hit with a volcano, which we've never had. So we don't have a volcano on the island, but directly never eats. So west of us, St. Vincent, one of the other islands, had a huge volcano erupt and it literally looked like doomsday because the amount of ash that covered us was insane. And that was okay. No, everybody lost their marbles after that. And then we had a hurricane, the first one in 65 years.
I mean, I was like, is this the fucking plague hitting Barbados before I get to visit? When you were posting the video of the ash, and I was like, what is that? And you're like, it's ash coming from the sky. Do you still have those videos?
I do. It literally it was pitch black at 12 o'clock in the day. It was actually very scary. I was more scared of that than lockdown. I was like, okay, those old people that say the world's coming to an end. I thought the world was coming to an end. So I think we were shut down. We have an awesome prime minister is what we call it. So it's instead of the president, it's the prime minister. Thank God she's in power. We've had some idiots and we're not doing politics, but she did this whole thing of a 1-year visa for anybody that you could come and work here if it was online for a year, which was never allowed before. You didn't have to pay taxes. You can just come, you paid whatever it cost for the visa. And we still had that coming in. And we were under lockdown, I think, I don't want to lie, maybe 3 months last year, and then maybe a month or 6 weeks this year. And then we're still on curfew. So we got out of curfew for 2 weeks. The hurricane hit, and then we got a week off, and then our numbers are back to I think it's 50. I don't care. I don't follow it. I just know that we're back on curfew, so we have to be in our houses by 11 p.m., which doesn't affect my life, and then we can leave at 5 a.m. And we are getting told that we're probably going to be shut down again, but I already have a plan, and hopefully nobody in Barbados is going to hear this or watch this. And I'm bringing my chair home. I am bringing colors home. I am like, you can't shove me down twice.
Tradition. Let's do it.
I was like, and I was like, this is ridiculous. So I'm pivoting. I was like, no, we're good. We're gonna figure this shit out. I'm not looking.
I feel like a little squirrel. don't you feel like a squirrel? Like I've been like collecting all my stuff little by little, just in case this fall. Cause I mean, I'm going to be doing a bootleg hair salon too if we close down, and I'm putting it out there. So, I mean, I'm lucky. Like
when you have to pay rent and feed yourself, right? It's not about anything else. It's just survival mode. And I definitely, you and I are both survivors. I think that we are kind of like, we'll survive anything.
Yeah.
So part of who we are.
So because we have this special gift, tell me how you got into doing hair and caring for others. Because it's more than just hair. I mean, I know so much about you, but it's like so much more than just beauty on the outside. It's beauty from within. So tell the guests how Miss Tenika Tang became the Barbados hairstylist. Are you a salon owner too, correct?
Salon owner, correct. And then I'm just now opening another location. But
I love it.
I know, I'm scared. I went from like, I don't like managing people to, oh, here's another location. Okay, I'll try it. I don't know. I think my personality is very much, I just know. There's a knowing in a lot of my decision making that is unexplainable. And from like my yearbook says hairdresser, 3 kids, married. Not that didn't happen, but the hairdressing part did. And I knew from maybe in my teens that I wanted to be a hairstylist, but everybody said I was smart or smarter than a hairdresser. You know, you get told that for a very long time. So it would always be like, I'll do special education. And if anything, I will do it on the side, right? Because you didn't want it to be your career. And especially now, 15 years in the business, you kind of want to wipe that off of people's minds. Like that, being a hairdresser is such a successful thing. It is such a very different industry. Sophia, we get to touch lives on like doctors don't even get to touch lives the way we do it at certain extents for people. So from very young, I knew I wanted to do hairdressing. I liked the flexibility of it. However, it's not so flexible. If you think when you're working for yourself, it's kind of, you work way more than you think. And my parents didn't want me to do it because they said, well, go to university first, blah, blah, blah. And they hated the boyfriend. And they sent me away to Canada because I'm a Canadian citizen. And I was there working at Starbucks. And then I called them. I was like, well, if you have me up here, can I at least do what I want? So I went to school. And then kind of the rest is history. I went back to Trinidad and worked in a beautiful salon. And I like a challenge. I like starting over. And I had built a full clientele in Trinidad. And it's not very safe as a woman to live on your own in Trinidad. It's like, I still watch Who Follows Me at Home. We have a lot of kidnappings. We have a lot of killings. And I really wanted to be independent. And most of the time in our culture, you didn't kind of leave home until you got married and had a baby. And at 23 or 24, I was nowhere near those things. And I used to come over here and party quite a bit. And I decided they had a John Frieda salon. And I was like, well, let me go try and see if I get in. And I went and I got in. And I was like, well, that's kind of my, well, I'll go and see it for 3 months and see if I like it. And 11, 12 years later, I'm here and I worked for them and worked for a couple of different companies, then opened my own company. So it's been beautiful because, you know, the truth is you get to be a part of people's stories. Their breakups, their weddings, their divorces, their children, their deaths. You know, it's so not just about the hair part of it. It's the whole being a part of somebody's life that I love about it, actually. What about you? What do you love about the hairdressing side?
Well, first of all, I love you even more than I did to start. Like we have so much in common. It's crazy. I wanted to get in special education too. When people started making me feel bad about doing hair, that was what I was picking because I lived by this school for the blind. And
language since I was a girl, my dad got me like a sign language book. I want Sky myself to learn it. I got very excited. Well, not the blind, but the deaf and all that kind of. Yeah,
right.
I love you.
Oh, I love you even more. But I learned that I didn't have patience at a young age. When I started babysitting, I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to have kids. Like these kids are little assholes. I'm like, I don't want my own little assholes.
Oh my God. My sister was looking at me because she's 15 years older and I'd be with her boys. And then she's like, you are just not. And then she's like, you're an amazing mom. I'm like, I'm surprising myself.
But look at that,
So,
like similarity. We have that nurturing quality because, like you said, what I've learned in the last year is I am more intimate and physical than a doctor. Like I am up in your face. I am touching you. A robot will not be able to become a balayage artist. Sorry, Jeff Bezos, that ain't happening. Like hairdressers should go to the moon though. Remember that. How I really got to know you in 2020 was I felt like this army of women stood up and said, I need to learn to care for others while learning to care for myself in order to serve and give exceptional service. Because we all went through it and we all had some type of trauma. And here we are ready to put our life on the line. I mean, you're a mother, I'm a mother. And when we were told we could work, we went back to work. Like it was scary, but we learned to navigate it. Our customers had more trust with us than ever, and we served them to the best. And finally, for the first time in my life, I felt valued for my career.
Yes, because that you just hit the nail. I think before 2020, because I don't want to say the C word, I think we were undervalued a lot for like our thing and being a stylist. And then it's so funny when anybody was locked away, the only thing they wanted was their hairdresser. Right. And I'm talking about Ellen DeGeneres. I'm talking about everybody just wanted to get their hair done because there's something behind it that's more than just the hair. It's how the hair makes you feel. It's connecting with somebody that you probably don't connect even with your friends the way you do with your stylist. The conversations you have with your stylist are very different from sometimes the conversations you do have with the people you love around you. It's a very safe space, I think. And I think that's what happened last year is people went, oh my God, we got respected.
That was my wake up, like being in community and being with like-minded women from not just like I was the only person from Maryland in workshop and talk. So like I had a perspective, you're the only person from Barbados. And like, I mean, I learned so much about how you have to pay more for product to come there. And it really got me thinking. So I became a hairstylist in 1999. And when I started cutting hair, I was $48 for a haircut. Here, 22 years later, pre-pandemic, I was $55 for a haircut. Now I want to stop and ask the listeners, imagine working for your job for 22 years, working Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, until 10 o'clock at night before Thanksgiving. Imagine missing your kids' soccer games. Imagine missing the birthday parties. Imagine being sick during the holidays because you served all the people that came sick, and that you only got a raise of
$10?
$7.
Can I curse?
$7 fucking dollars in 22 years.
$7 in 22 years.
Yeah. So where did the divide come where people weren't realizing our worth I sold so much retail, I won an all expense paid trip to Milan. Why didn't my leader step up and say, your value is higher? Now I have a training.
However, hold on. I'm going to stop you.
Stop me.
However, do you find the switch was really in the other people who value you, or was it when you realized your value that you were like, this is not what I'm worth? It really truly doesn't matter what they think I'm worth. It's what I think I'm worth, because then you're willing to go, nope, I'm $120 for a haircut because I know I'm worth that.
Right.
So I found my switch wasn't in other people's perception of what I was worth. It was like, I spend a shitload on education. I spend a shitload on make sure exclusive products that are of the best. So I have no problem that I'm out of your budget. However, this is what I'm worth.
Right. Like, don't put your money story, how you were raised and thought about money and felt about money. Do not place that on me. And like, I think being in the program and being with other like strong, badass women, I'm like, I'm obviously like them. They told me I could sit with them. Why don't I value myself? And then when it came time to join in the high power, I felt like I can't compete with those women. I can't even be at the table. But I'm so glad that you're there, because
I was there, but many times I was like, I am a successful, and I can say this now because I've worked really hard to say this, and I think you can say this as well too, but within yourself, going, I am a successful stylist and salon owner, which for me, I don't know if it was difficult for you to say for a very long time, because I've been a salon owner in Trinidad as well. You know, it's a very different, for me to say it was very difficult. I still wanted to be a hairstylist and I'm with my stylist, right? But I'm a salon owner, which is very different. And you have to own it as well in order for you to have that presence. And I have no idea where I was going with this. But right, so High Power has multifaceted people doing lots of different things. And I will tell you, I very much didn't feel I was worthy of fitting there, but what it did show me is what I could be. So maybe I'm not there yet, but it shines a light on the possibilities, because when you do surround yourself with successful people that may be a step or two ahead of you, or 10 or 100, what it does allow you to do is it allows you to go, oh, that can be me. I can do that. I may not be doing it now, but I'm rubbing shoulders and I can learn something. And how did you get there? What mistakes did you make so I can try not to make them? But I will say I totally felt the imposter syndrome, and I still feel the imposter syndrome in some things I do. So
because you dream big, and
yes.
You are multifaceted. You are a salon owner. You are a balayage artist. You are a leader. You own C and Beyond. We're going to touch on that in a minute. I mean, you empower women. You are a mother. You are a sister. You are an amazing friend. So, bitch, you're multifaceted.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We're badass bitches.
Yeah, exactly. But tell the listeners a little bit, because this is a dream of mine and I'm manifesting and I'm putting it out there. It is a dream of mine to retreat and have our own little intimate retreat in Barbados. And that way you get a little bit of the sea and a little bit of the mountains that you described to me. So describe to the viewers and listeners exactly what is C Beyond, because that's what really attracted me to you and your brand.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So C Beyond was created. I went to this community hair love retreat. I went and it was so beautiful, and I said it today on the C Beyond group. So I went to this retreat. I was not from the States. I'm not from the States. I love Jamie C. She has literally, I think I went to Orlando's show and missed her by accident. I went to a class in Connecticut because I love to travel and educate myself. And she had just had her second baby. So I missed her there. And then I found out about hair love. I knew she was going there. So she was definitely the reason I was going. Plus Elizabeth, and they had all these amazing other stylists. And I'm literally getting on the plane going, oh my God, hairdressers are bitches. Where are you going? Because if you think about it, when you go to Orlando, not in a bad way, right? But they're not very inclusive little group. It's very scary. They're very intimidating people. And I've always been a very kind of community butterfly girl. So I'm like, okay, so I get on the flight, I'm crying my eyes out because it's a bunch of crap that happened and da-da-da. And I get to, where is it in? Anyway, we got to the retreat.
Utah? You got to Utah?
Utah, thank you. I got to Utah. This is like this little island girl. It's never been to that side of the States. I've always gone to New York.
So far to the West Coast. You went from here to Connecticut to Utah.
Yes. So and I was like, okay, I love traveling though, so that's part of it. And I remember being on a bus and seeing a redhead sit in front of me. And I was like, she has to be a hairdresser. And it was Jordan. And I remember hopping off the bus. And I was so scared, honestly. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit in. Because I'm not very kind of, I can hold a conversation, but I'm not going to start a conversation. I'm not that kind of presence. And I remember her looking at me and going, hey, are you going to Hair Love? Do you want to come to lunch with me and another friend that I met somewhere else? And I said, and all I'm thinking is like, don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me, don't like, you think of all these things of somebody kidnapping you and killing you. And I'm like, sure, no problem.
Preface this, if you see Jordan hates hair, Jordan is like this sweet young girl that wouldn't hurt a fly. And
No, she wouldn't hurt a fly.
I went to your country and got on a bus, I would be like, where's my passport?
I mean, when I go to New York, I'm like, tuck and roll, get off the couch. Anyway.
So, I'm sending you a video when I get there. I'm going to tuck and roll and send it to you.
So we went for lunch, and from there it was magic, because I sat there and I realized, oh my God, we are so similar. We laughed. We were all worried about the same things. It was 5 women, and I just went, I'm in the right place. And from there on, I just relaxed, and it was beautiful. And I cried, and this retreat just had these people that we look up to from afar that are educators, but I watched them, unlike what we've seen in the past in our industry, I've watched them build each other up. They were both doing the same kind of education. There were no fighting, Sophia. They were kind of encouraging one another to build up. And these are like the leaders of our industry. And I was like, wow, well, they're not being catty bitches. So like, why does the rest of our community have to behave so? And I came back so inspired, and I was like, oh my God, I want that. So I have been, wherever I've ever worked, my dad has kind of been like that as well, where I think the more you share what you know, the more you learn. So I've always been a sharer. So any formulas, any techniques, it's just, if you ask me a question, I'm like, oops, I'm going to answer it. And I came back going, oh my God, I want this community in Barbados and in the Caribbean. I want it to feel like there's enough sunshine for everybody, that you as a candle can light somebody else's candle, and it doesn't diminish your candle, right? Like, this is possible. I saw it. I watched it for my own eyes. So I was like, I can do this down here. And I came back and I started to do, I think something about positive things, where I asked all the hairdressers on the island to say something positive about another hairdresser that they admire. And I think I got back 1 response, and I had 10 people I messaged and only 1 person responded.
Better than none.
I did get one. And then I was like, I want to create something like that down here. I really got very inspired by that. And so CBeyond kind of evolved naturally from that, to be honest. But what ended up happening is when I did launch it, which CBeyond stands for is spelled SEA, beyond. So you see beyond your limitations. And it's self-love, empowerment, and abundance beyond your limitations. So
I love that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's you know how long that took me. I was like, it needs to be. I wanted it to do with self-love, because I knew how important and impactful for me self-love has been. I wanted to empower people, and I know abundance. It's limitless, and you want to show people it's limitless. You do not need to feel such scarcity. And those were the core values of See Beyond. And then I loved how it went, you see beyond. Once you learn those things, you can see beyond any limitations, to be honest. And what's happened is, for right now at least, it's more than just hairdressers. I've had just women that are boss babes that are stressed out. And I had my first workshop, and it was magic. It's actually been independent women that own their own businesses or are high corporate businesses, and their moms, they're overwhelmed and they're stressed out, and they want a safe community that they can have conversations that are real, because I don't think a lot of the time we have those real conversations with friends. We kind of always put on the mask, and it was a safe place to take off the mask. But my heart is in the hairdressers and salon owners that are mums and are burnt out and need to see the light, and need to know that there's so much more, that you don't need to do this work hour. You don't need the hustle. I have been extremely successful without the hustle. I live in the most beautiful island. I have the most beautiful clientele. At times I get burned out, but I can catch myself and go, okay, you've overworked a little bit, but it's not like years of burned out.
There's times where you physically can't work for weeks. So like you can't really gauge a normal work schedule. And I've seen it. I've witnessed what you go through. I don't think many people are aware, because I find that people are too self-absorbed to think of others before themselves, because we are taught, like, love yourself before somebody else. But like, truly, like, Ariel, view the situation and be grateful. Like, whenever I was like, I don't feel like doing this client today, I thought, I am so privileged to be able to go to work today. I am so fortunate that I have a job that I can go back to safely today. And once I started changing that script, it really started to help propel my life in a positive direction. And what I think you're doing is, hello, we are in 2021. It is time for women to start supporting each other and realize that you are Tenika and I am Sophia. And even if I took and did See Beyond and said, I'm going to start See Beyond today because I was inspired by you, let's say, if I tried to put that out there, it would never be See Beyond because it didn't manifest in my heart space. It didn't come authentically to me. It's a copy. It's almost like when you go to school and you write the paper and the friend copies the paper. They don't have that story with it. They don't have that energy, emotion, and tied into it. So before, I used to get upset when I thought somebody was copying me. Now I'm like, okay, they're inspired by me. Let's change the script again. And no matter what, they'll never be me. They don't have my voice. They don't have my sight. They don't have my hands, and they don't have my heart. So instead of being like jealous and low vibing to that, I started going, wow, I have something that they wish they had in themselves. So it really helps me. But I see, because we've been in this industry a very long time, and there are people who feel like social media has changed the space and they're like stuck in their cave and they don't want that. However, it's a new world and we should all, and like I purposely every day go out and find stylists and compliment their work, people that I don't know, because I think it's important to compliment people when they don't expect it.
I love that. How do you find them?
I just go on my Explorer page.
Okay.
And then basically on my Explorer page, it will show people that my friends have liked, my friends have commented on. And I just look at that as I am supposed to be energetically in this space with them and let the universe take me there. And that person could have woke up today and found out their family had cancer. That person could have had their husband cheat on them or their wife cheat on them. They could have had terrible news, and my compliment could have maybe helped save their career, because I didn't want to do hair anymore in 2019. It was becoming very hard for me, and watching everybody at Hair Love Retreat inspired me, and I wasn't even there. And then I joined Workshop in a Box, the year-long program with you and all our friends. And that year really taught me that you get what you put out there. So if I didn't show up, if I didn't message people, I would not have cultivated friendships. But because I did the work, as they call it, because I put in the time, I really became the richest, most successful person out there that nobody could put. It's limitless. Like you said, it's limitless. And I feel sad for people that have that wall put up and can't see through it. And I hope I can lead by example. And just that's why this podcast came about. So now, like, when somebody is kind of like coming from a place of a low frequency and like a complaining frequency, I kind of just sit back and I go, okay, there's a solution to this. I'm hearing you. I see you. I feel what you're saying. Doesn't mean I have to agree with it or be a people pleaser or whatever, but I also don't have to argue and let you steal my energy and take me to a place that I don't need to be in, because that's a projection of how they're feeling and it has nothing to do with me. And I won't let people steal my joy. Like, I just won't. I have so much.
We also did Jamie's programs. We've done a couple of Jamie's programs together as well. And that has been like life-changing on a whole. We've done her as our personal coach as well. And I think what I had learned out of that, especially because everybody has these cycles that we go through of it's our safe zone, like our fallback response to whatever it is. And I think she helped me realize the only thing I'm in control of is my reaction. I don't get to control other people's reactions, right? That's their stuff. That's nothing to do with me. But I do control my own actions. I control how I feel and my feelings. And that has game changed. Even when a client walks in upset or down or a mess up has happened, it's the reaction is not mine. Their reaction is not mine. I just need to, especially, you know, as hairdressers, we take a lot of energy from people. So we have to make sure that we're aware of how to like clean it, cleanse it, make sure that we don't let it go in. And if we are empaths, which most hairdressers are, we do tend to take it in, right? And learning to go, that's not mine. I don't need to own it. I own my own feelings. I can react to it very differently. Has helped dramatically because you're not reacting.
Right.
You're acting. Which has been very beneficial in my business and in my personal life, actually.
Same, because it's not good. It's not bad. It's just neutral. Like, and as soon as you, like, if somebody's coming at you, you could just say, okay, this is not good. This is not bad. This is just neutral. This is just somebody being neutral. And it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with who I am, what I do, what I'm feeling. And you just kind of like, Jamie taught me this exercise where I put myself like bubble boy in an invisible, huge ass bubble that no one can see, that when you try to penetrate and get through, and if I feel that you are just still coming at me, I can visualize the gold zipper just dangling in my face, like taking me somewhere else, that you're talking, but I am not here.
Do you remember the girl named Rachel? So my bubble is, you're going to laugh at how different our bubbles are. So my bubble is actually cotton candy. It's huge cotton candy. And you can take pieces, but it's so thick that you're eating those, but it's not getting to me. And I was like, oh, so when I get to work, I'm like fully cotton candied up.
I love
you
that.
Can take
what color?
Knowing me, it's like pinks and blues and purples.
Yes, I was visualizing it. I'm pinching. I'm getting here.
It's literally just you protectively. So you can take pieces on the outside, but you're not getting inside unless I allow you inside, I guess. So I love that our bubbles are so different, but we still have bubbles.
And then I picture being a sumo wrestler because I had this Buddha tattoo on my foot. And I picture like standing in my power stance and just sticking my big bubble belly out and just bouncing them. And when you see me stand in my power stance next time, you can be like, that bitch is bouncing her.
Yeah, she is. Somebody's triggered.
My feet are grounded and I'm just going to smile through it, you know?
Well, can I get back to how did you, realizing that you went from $48 to
55.
How did you raise it to, because that's not a price raise, that's a price adjustment. There's two very different things, like, because you have to like adjust a price, you're not raising your prices. It's been, how have you done it? Can I ask that? And then how did that go down? How did it make you feel? How was that part of it?
So for me, my biggest thing was asking for help, because as you know, as a business owner, we cannot wear all the hats. We can't, because burnout happens when you try to manage your social media, when you try to manage your finances, when you try to manage your inventory, your online booking, your education, being a mother, being a wife, cleaning your salon, trying to eat.
Yes.
So I came to a point where I just felt like this spin cycle of life was just all it was. And I just couldn't handle it anymore. And then I was like, I need help. I need somebody to talk to. So I hired Jamie, and when I met her, I literally couldn't even speak. And I'm glad that I have it on video. I felt like an imposter in my life. I felt like I couldn't ask for help, and I just couldn't see it. So the first thing I did was I added salon scale into my business to help track my inventory and to come up with a parts versus labor type of pricing. And once I could visually see that, I was like, this is bullshit. So I had a client I loved this client, I had been doing hair at my home, and like I thought $70, like here I was making a $50 profit. So this client had followed me forever. And then when I got Salon Scale, I learned when I put in the formula, my color cost, my rent cost, my online booking cost. And this isn't before I hired like a virtual assistant, a social media manager, and those kinds of things. I was paying the client $7 every time she was here. Every time.
Thank you.
But it's not the client's fault, it's mine. And I started thinking like, this is why they say hairdressers are stupid. This is why they say be a hairdresser because you're not smart enough. This is why they put us in a category of a bartender or a stripper or something of that nature. When in actuality, I am just like a doctor, just like a lawyer, and I have a ton of education. And if you don't feel that way about me, then you belong at a Great Clips and a hair cuttery. And that's why those businesses are there. And in a few years, Jeff Bezos's robots will be cutting your hair, and they have no emotion, just like you. So I don't need you in my energetic field. And if you don't talk like that, I don't give a shit either. You don't belong in my space. Like you're not for everybody, and that's okay. And that's why there's so many talented stylists all over. And I don't think I can serve everybody. And I know I'm not. However, I feel that a lot of people took advantage of me for a very long time. And now that when I had boundaries and was like, no more. I mean, I recently had a client that was underpaying me $30 for 6 months. And I talked to her, but because I had the financial advisor and because I had the coach, each month we came with a system to tell this client, okay, I gave you your space. However, in that time, that was a vacation for my family that you didn't pay me. So to that client, they don't realize they were stealing. They were stealing. Would you go into a store and say, this is not worth this price, I'm going to pay this? They don't know the education. They don't know that now I have a special cleaner that has to come that didn't come before. They don't know what I invested in. I mean, a box of gloves went from $7.99 to $14.99.
I know. And mine is $30-something because I get double.
Jesus. Crazy. And I wasn't even putting gloves to my cost because my brain just went to, okay, I'm coloring their hair and this is the space. So I did rent color. I didn't do the whole picture. So I was like, something's got to change or I don't want to do hair. So in the last year, I would write it all out. I would visualize everything that was happening. And then I started to think to myself, would I go out to a restaurant with this person? Would I be embarrassed of their conversation in a public place? Would I be embarrassed of the way they treated the service provider, such as the waitress or bartender? Because that's how they're treating me. And I'm allowing it. So I need to be the change and break the cycle. And I am proud of me. I know my worth, and I added the tax. The people that valued me didn't say anything.
Nothing, right?
Nothing.
Nothing. Like, can I?
Nothing. The people that were opportunistic and were taking advantage of my education, my talent, my empathic heart, and my compassion are no longer in my life. And I wish them well and I forgive them and I don't take it personally. However, I hope that they looked back and could see how they could treat somebody different. I mean, I started researching and seeing that stylists with a 2 or 3 years experience were charging more money than me. I started shampooing in 1995. I've been in a salon since 1995. My first job in 1994 was a receptionist in a nail salon. Like, I greeted people. I love people. I love all people. I love humans. And I love to hear their stories and I love to get to meet them. But if they are ugly and dark inside, I just kind of smile and just wish them well and hope that they can see it because they're missing out. They're missing out.
Not your responsibility. Not your responsibility.
And my time in doing this challenge right now, I have learned that my time is so valuable that I don't have time for toxic conversations or surface level conversations or gossip. Like any customer that was a gossiper, like they were gone as of June too.
For me, I have been very lucky that I've had a couple of difficult clients, but none really. But the truth is, you're right. There's a man's cut I haven't raised in 7 years. Just because it takes, in my head, I go, it takes me 10 minutes. I love my man. They book every 4 weeks. But I did realize this week I have to reevaluate that. But yeah,
good for you.
No, I love, I don't have like, I'm not fancy. I'm like, I tell them like, I'm not a barber. I'm a hairdresser. You're getting a hairdresser haircut. But I love my guys. I love guys. They're so like, there's no drama with men. They come in, they leave, they're happy, they rebook.
Men's hair and I had a man here. I was one-on-one with him, and he like said jokingly, which I didn't think was funny, that he imagined what I look like naked.
And then you'll never get an appointment back with me. I'm fully booked. Sorry.
I was like, sorry. I was like, well, you're going to be extremely disappointed because it ain't never going to happen. You're never going to come back and see me again.
It's not those kind of happy endings, guys.
Well, like when I became one-on-one with people, I was like, okay, because I did hair out of my house, like when my kids were small. And one of the neighbors was like, I was wondering what was going on. You had a man come in, a woman come in, a man come in. And I'm like, what are you scared about doing? But okay.
Do what you gotta do to survive.
There's the storytelling that I stay away from. I swear to you, I'll talk to you forever. So what do you want to leave the guest with today with one of your see beyond favorite sayings of what you tell people? Like help the viewers and listeners today to absorb who you are and what their takeaway from Tenika is.
I think it's not even what I say to see beyond, it's what I realized, what was needed in the world. And I think that is, if we had more women in the world that truly love themselves, the world would be a much better place. Because we are the givers, right? We're the ones that give of ourselves. But when we learn to truly give to ourselves instead of to everybody else, I think we'll have a way better world. And I've realized that. I want to light as many candles as I can.
I love that because you are the lighthouse. You're going to do it. You're like butane coming through with your cotton candy. Light everybody up.
I forgot we were even on this and I thought we were chatting. I'm like, oh wait, no, we have to like wrap it up, guys.
I know. I'm so sorry. I could talk to you forever. I'm going to have you back on for sure so we can follow up. So where can the viewers find you? So if you want to like DM Tenika and like catch some of her accent and her love and light, how can we find you?
I would do See Beyond, which is SEA_beyond, or just Tenika Tang. I mean, Tenika Tang Studio is a whole other thing. I have way too many places to find me, but my name is pretty easy.
Yeah, well. and we'll have all your information in the show notes. But I just want viewers to know that if you do message Tenika, it will be Tenika. She'll even send you a little voice message, and she always spreads
because I can't spell so great. So I love a voice message or a video message. Yes.
Okay, so later today, I'm going to walk the trail and I'm going to take a picture of heavenly waters for you when I walk my mom pot. But you have to go dip your toe and put it in the ocean in the sand and send it back to me.
I will.
And then I'm trying to convince Tenika. So if you guys vote on this and it happens, I need your help. I'm trying to get Tenika to swap places with me. I want to go to Barbados to be a hair swap. And I'm going to bring Tenika to Maryland. So we're going to do like a swap. You can come live with Pat and the kids, and I'll come live with Skyla. Skyla can be naked, and then I'll like we're going to be like the Blue Lagoon. I'm going to have long hair and live in my mermaid dreams.
That sounds perfect.
Tenika, thank you so much for being here. Before you leave, I wanted to pull a card with you if I could.
Oh, I'd love to.
So this is like, I always pulled cards, and I never did it publicly because I thought like my limiting belief was like people are gonna think I'm a witch or something. Oh, you could pull one too.
Oh, so every single day I pull one, so I'll pull one for you as well.
I have like different decks for different things.
I pulled one too, actually.
Pull one.
What? Okay.
Oh, look at this. We were just talking about the sea. See, it's meant to be. We're supposed to switch places. There's like a beautiful dolphin and the mermaid girl. Look at that. You see it?
Oh, that is literally meant for this.
And it says, I am one with the trees and the sky. I'm one with the trees and the sky.
I'm a tree girl.
I am. All right.
I actually get this card. I get this card all the time, and I think it's a gentle reminder. All the time, my greatest experience of freedom comes when I let go of what others think.
Hell yeah. I love that. Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go, like Disney.
Yes. Disney princesses here.
I love you, Tenika Tang. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.